Hello, baseball fans. Hope everybody's doing awesome. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so. We're a new YouTube channel, so by you hitting subscribe, it's the best way you can support us, and your support is massively appreciated. So I thought today we could make a bold prediction, even bigger than that Blake Snell one we made 3 weeks ago. And this is a candidate who I think is going to be up via trade. Somebody who there is absolutely no rumors on at the moment, but I really think it's going to happen. And that's nobody else than Mr. Matt Chapman of the Oakland Athletics. Now, a little bit about Chapman, if you don't know. He's going to be an elite third baseman, right up there with Josh Donaldson, I actually think. He's going to be 27 years old going into next season, and he has 3 years left on his arbitration. So most people predict he's probably going to make between 50, maybe up to $60 million over those 3 years, but probably closer to $50 million. Now, a little bit about Chapman that makes him so exceptional is his numbers. 2020 wasn't so great, and he ended that with surgery. We'll get into that afterwards. But he still managed to put up an average of 2.32, 10 home runs, and a 1.2 WAR. But nowhere near what he usually does. 2019, amazing. 249 average, 36 home runs, and an 8.3 WAR. 2018, again, 278 average, 24 home runs, and an 8.3 WAR. Amazing for such a young kid. I don't want to call him a kid, he's 27, but certainly such a young talent. And with Oakland, why are they going to trade him? Well, they just have a history of making these trades happen with players who they think they're not going to be able to afford, and I believe Oakland's going to go into a soft rebuild. The evidence is on the table. They traded away Josh Donaldson in 2014. If you look back that year, also Cespedes went to Boston. Mark Mulder and Tim Hudson both got traded in 2004, so this is just something that Oakland does, and I think it's going to happen again. What they're going to have to really value when making this trade or making Matt Chapman available is if teams think that there's going to be issues with him having that hip surgery. They say he's going to be healthy and ready to go for spring training, and I really think that's going to happen. Additionally, any team that makes a trade for him is going to have to really consider a contract extension. This is what's causing some friction between Chapman and the Athletics to begin with. He really wants that extension to happen. He's shown his frustration with Athletics ownership, doesn't like the stadium. He's at that point now where he's rumbling, and he actually does want that trade to happen. But he also wants to have that extension occur, and he probably wants close to $100 million, if not a little bit north. With his value, I can see that contract being aligned with that type of money. It's just what team's going to step up right now and really make that trade and then that extension happen. And who are the teams that could make a trade for him? Well, you have your Blue Jays. And why the Blue Jays? We just have a history working with Oakland. I don't know if they'll let us take another star third baseman from them after what happened with Donaldson, but there is certainly a void with Toronto at third base. And additional to that, we got the prospects to make it happen. Somebody like Lourdes going there, in addition to maybe Simeon Woods Richardson and somebody else, could definitely make that deal happen. You have other teams as well, the Dodgers. They could pass on Justin Turner. Maybe there is a DH next year. They move Turner into that DH, and they move Chapman over to third base. You also have the Reds, who could make that trade happen and shuffle around their infield. And finally, you always have the Mets. And why the Mets? Well, because they're the Mets this year, and they just seem to be connected to everybody, just like the Blue Jays. But I could certainly see Matt Chapman being very comfortable with any of those four teams, and if he did go to any of those four teams, would immediately make any of those four teams much better and extremely competitive for the postseason next year. He's a two-time Gold Glove winner already. He's an all-star. He's somebody you want on your team. And finally, in closing, it'll be interesting because if Oakland does trade away Matt Chapman, I think they'll see them re-sign Matt Olsen a little bit cheaper and maybe even see Chris Davis get sold or traded as well. I think a rebuild's coming for Oakland. Let me know if I'm wrong, though. Leave your comments below. As always, please subscribe. We'll talk soon, and stay safe, everyone.